Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for me to bring you your very first act this evening. So if you would be so good, please slap your palms together and welcome to the stage tonight's first act, Mr. Baz McAlister. Let's go!
Oh, good evening, Pato, on a Saturday night. How are you? Yes, awesome. You'll have to bear with me. I've got a little bit of a sore head. I tied one on last night and had a big one. Important piece of advice for you all. If you're going out in the valley for a few drinks, right, don't confuse the Beat nightclub with the police beat. One's a room full of men with handcuffs and one's a police station. So, you know, take that with you. And also, if you follow that up with a trip to McDonald's and the person behind the counter happens to be a midget lady, don't order a mini snack wrap, or I suppose you'd just call it a snack wrap. They don't like that, so... I guess the more astute of you by now will probably have realised by my accent I'm not from around here. I'm from all the way up in Gympie. No, I'm actually from Northern Ireland originally. We put the fun in fundamentalist terrorism. Those Muslim guys, they just put the mental in fundamentalist terrorism. But yeah, look, I grew up in I grew up in a little town called Bushmills, which is just outside 1973. Yeah, I grew up in the 70s and 80s in Northern Ireland, and as many of you might know, it's a time of great turmoil in Irish history called the Troubles, punctuated by smaller times called Happy Hour, 5 till 6 every Friday when no one got killed. Yeah, a hard time to grow up. How do I explain the Troubles to Queenslanders? It's kind of like, imagine State of Origin 24/7 with automatic weapons. That's the way, yeah. Hard time to grow up. I mean, it was one of the bloodiest periods of sectarian violence in human history, but also, if you want a silver lining, U2 got a lot of fucking awesome songs out of it, which is good. And, you know, it was hard. I mean, one side would plant a car bomb one week, the other side would plant a car bomb the next week. And I was too young at the time to understand the complex social and political reasons for people planting car bombs. I just thought the country was full of suicidal transformers. You know? Fuck, there's nothing to do, I'm rusty. Oh, I might as well end it all. Yeah. But like I mentioned U2 before, and rock and roll. Talking about rock and roll, I turned 36 lately. Yeah, 3 more years than you, Jesus. Yeah, actually, no, it was an interesting birthday. If you like that, you'll love this. I got a sat-nav. I've been wanting one for a while. My one comes, it talks like a stuck-up English chick, you know. So cruising out in the bypass the other day, and I'm going through the tunnel, and it says, turn hard left now. I figured out it was one of those ones that comes with celebrity voices, and it was stuck on Princess Di. Yeah. Oh, what? Too soon? Too soon? Do you fuckers want a Patrick Swayze joke? Do you? Yeah? Yeah. All right, try this. The police reckon Swayze's death was suspicious, but the family don't want to launch an investigation because nobody takes Swayze to the coroner. Please yourselves. Anyway. Talking about turning 36, right, I figured out that I'm at the age where if I'm ever going to do anything that I dreamed of doing when I was little, I might as well hurry up. So when I was little, I never learned a musical instrument, and I always dreamed, like John just did, of rocking out in front of an audience with something. And this year, I finally took the plunge and invested in Guitar Hero 5 for the Xbox. Yeah, now some of you laughed, others will need explanation. You put a disc in, coloured notes come down the screen at you. You've got a toy plastic guitar with coloured buttons that correspond to the notes. And the more notes you play, the more songs you play, the more money you earn, the more gear you can buy for your band. You play increasingly awesome venues until you're finally rocking out in hell with Satan on bass, motherfuckers. And then you turn off the Xbox and you're alone in your living room at 3 in the morning. In your pants, with a plastic toy guitar and your chisel-stained fingers. And the only groupie you ever stood a chance of scoring with went to bed 3 hours ago. It's only fair, I suppose. I mean, I replaced her with a lump of plastic, she's replaced me with a lump of plastic. Yeah. Look, I suppose I was naive to think it would make me a guitarist. That's like thinking, play enough Monopoly and you'll turn into a top hat. You know, it's not logical, but nevertheless, it's a tremendously successful game, right? They've brought out all these spin-offs, like, I think the big one for Christmas this year is Banjo Hero. A lot of pre-orders from Launceston for some reason. Yeah, and they've brought out Jazz Guitar Hero, where you can just play any fucking note in any order you want. That's jazz, apparently. And they've got ones honouring famous bands, like Guitar Hero Aerosmith, which comes with a little plastic Les Paul, like Joe Perry's, and Guitar Hero Metallica, which comes with a plastic ESP, like Kirk Hammett's, and Guitar Hero Nirvana, which comes with a plastic shotgun. Oh, okay, look, come on, it's fucking hard. It's hard. That's pulling the trigger when the barrel's in your mouth. That's expert level stuff, honestly. Really tough. Yeah. Look, playing all this Guitar Hero, though, has made me think about some of the questions that songwriters and singers have asked us down the years that they've never bothered answering, right? The most famous, I guess, would be the song that Paul McCartney penned for the Beatles, Will You Still Need Me, Will You Still Feed Me When I'm 64? And when Paul turned 64, Heather Mills fucking limped off, didn't she? So the answer's a big no to that, Paul. Apparently. And if you need feeding, by the way, when you're 64, I'd probably walk out as well. Apparently he subsists on fast food now, goes down to KFC quite often with a little tear in his eye. He orders 2 breasts and 1 thigh. It's what he's used to, you know, what he's used to. One of the other big questions that was asked by bands is 1987. Some of you born in the 80s will remember this. Bros asked the question, when will I be famous? I can answer that for you tonight, Bros. 1987. April 24th, approximately 5 p.m. to 5:10 p.m. Yeah. The Carpenters asked, why do birds suddenly appear every time you're near? Because you brought chips, and the ibis is a greedy fucker. That's why. And I guess my favourite question that a band has asked of all time, and the one with the most obvious answer, is Travis, the Scottish band, asking, why does it always rain on me? Because you live in fucking Scotland, Travis, where it rains 400 days a year, and if you think I've done the maths wrong on that, you've never lived in Scotland. I lived in Scotland for a little while. I got just enough Glasgow in my accent to fly under the radar there, because wherever you go in the world, the Irish are second-class citizens, right? It's true, everyone thinks we're stupid. And we kind of are. Yeah, look, here's an example, right? You tell an Irish joke, like, how do you get an Irishman to climb on the roof of your pub? Tell him drinks are on the house. Haha, very funny, right? You guys chuckled a little. Tell that in my hometown. Dead silence. They're not offended or anything, they're just waiting for the end of the story. You know? Like, so how did he get down off the pub if he was drunk then, smart arse? Brilliant. But yeah, it's true, there is this bubble of dullness over the whole country, and you can only really escape it when you get out and leave. I got all the way to the age of 18 thinking the definition of black comedy was The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and The Cosby Show. True, absolutely true. And here's another one. I'll leave you with this thought. The year that Bop was massive was the year that we got MTV in our house, right? Remember that song? Yeah. I was convinced that at least 1, possibly 2 members of Hanson were female. Yeah, you might laugh, but 17 times before I figured it out. Yeah. Thank you, Pado. I'm Baz McAlister. Good night.
Baz McAlister, everybody.